Fallout 5. Almost as mythical as Elder Scrolls 6. It's been on people's minds on and off for the past 10 years, because Fallout 4 is 10 years old now, if you would believe that, which blows my mind. You know, if you see a little kid with a Switch, there's a good chance that Fallout 4 is older than them. Crazy. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about some Fallout. So, if you don't know, this is my talk show, New Vegas Talk Show, where we play New Vegas and we talk about things. Give a little like and a subscribe, please. Helps the algorithm. And I got to ask in the beginning because that's how YouTube works now. Anyway, we're playing modded New Vegas here. I'm watching the same footage you're watching. Fallout 5. Okay. So, a lot of things. So, will it be made by Obsidian? No. It will be Bethesda. What are we going to see from Bethesda? I don't know. But there's a lot of things they can do with it. And this is the cool thing about it. I got to lower my volume. This is too loud. A lot of things they can do with Fallout 5. Likely, it's gonna be Fallout 4, but with more streamlined stuff. That's what we're looking at for Fallout 5. But Todd has talked about it. It is in development. It's going to be after Elder Scrolls 6 happens, because Elder Scrolls is their baby child, and believe it or not, Elder Scrolls is more neglected main series wise than Fallout is, which is great. Besides the Skyrim re-releases, we don't want to talk about this. So there's a lot of things they can do with it, right? And I'm gonna get in a rant a little bit once I settle in for a few minutes. So there's a lot of things they can do with Fallout 5. Todd has talked about like different like settings they can have for the game. Fun fact, I just visited Salt Lake City, like literally last weekend. And I'll say that would be such a cool location for a Fallout game. It would most likely be like an Obsidian thing. But they mentioned, I think in either New Vegas or I think it was New Vegas, that it got completely wiped off the map. But as Bethesda likes to do, they're going to keep their games on the East Coast. So I'm thinking for Fallout 5, it's going to be probably something like New York or Virginia or some weird shit like that, even though they already did the Capital Wasteland. It's going to be somewhere on like the northern East Coast. They've talked about some other regions. I forget one of them they've talked about. Now, when it comes to like the main Fallout series, I got some beefs. I got some beefs with what Bethesda has done and how they've taken the Fallout series. Oh, I'm about to... Okay, guys, don't kill me. I'm a loyalist. So, I started with Fallout 3. That was my first game. I loved it. And then I played Fallout 4. I loved it even more. And then I played New Vegas. And then I was like, I don't like this. I didn't like New Vegas when I first played it. And then I was told that I had a dummy poopy take by my friend who was like, it's amazing. How do you hate it? So I was like, okay, let me go back to it. And then I came at it with a different perspective than like a 13-year-old playing Fallout 3. And I was like, oh, okay, this game actually is more dynamic and not as brainless as Fallout 3 and 4. And then I got older and I was like, okay, let's look critically at Fallout 3 and 4. If you've ever seen Fallout 3 is Garbage, and Here's Why by H. Bomber Guy, it's a great video. He calls out a lot of the glaring flaws that 3 and 4 have. And if you look back at it, I have a very critical opinion of Fallout 3 and 4. Fallout 3 was an upgrade in the sense that it brought Fallout to the masses. It made the world 3D, however you want to say it. It made the gameplay easier to get into. That was an upgrade. That was cool. On the other hand, Bethesda has this tendency to make their games as wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle. And some hardcore fans might get really upset at me, but it's true. Fallout 3 copied a lot of the tropes from Fallout 2. And I can already hear the angry comments coming. People are going to be like, it's a game series. How are you going to get mad at them for it's a game series. Come on. That's fair. They can use same tropes, right? There's no problem if they use like similar things, right? But the problem was with Fallout 3 is that it felt like it relied on Fallout 1 and 2's callbacks more than it was being original. It had a couple original things for sure. It had like Mirelurks. It had your Miler Kings. I don't know. The story was Project Purity. It was different. Cool. They had Liam Neeson. That was cool. But the Gek. Like, when I first played it, I was like, what the fuck's a Gek? What's it? Because I hadn't played Fallout 1 and 2. I didn't know what a Gek was. And the Gek was more of a throwback, right? They had John Henry Eden be a computer because they were like, oh, we saw Zax in Fallout 2. Wouldn't that be cool if we brought that back? Harold, he returns in Fallout 3 because he was in Fallout 2. And it's like, it felt like it didn't need to come back. And it was like a game, you can be a little more unique, right? And then I went back and played Fallout 1 and 2, and I was like, oh man, these games are crazy good. I had a hard time getting into them at first, but then once you get past the difficulty of entry, because it's a hard game to get into, Fallout 1 and 2, they're really tough because they're very dated. They're very old games. But once you get into it, you realize how awesome the writing was. You realize how awesome, like for instance, we're looking at Mr. House right now in our footage here. Like, the way that Mr. House was written is just so freaking good, and it reflects everything that was done on Fallout 1 and 2. And when Bethesda took control, they did a lot of things right, and they wanted to streamline it. That's what I'll say Bethesda did well. But at the same time, they dumbed down the games. If you've played Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas to their entirety, and you're looking at it from a bird's eye view, you can't deny that Fallout 3 and 4 are not as deep and complex as 1 and 2 are. They're just not. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not saying they're bad games, but it's not what made Fallout great. That's why Fallout now has a different fan base than when it first came out. And that's why New Vegas was loved by everybody, because it took the things that 3 did well, and it took the things that 1 and 2 did well, and it turned it into this ultimate game. And that's why Fallout New Vegas, I believe, is the ultimate Fallout game. It's the best of both worlds, which we're going to talk about that. I really want them to make a New Vegas successor. Now, I'm going to do a whole different video on like the New Vegas 2 thing. We're talking about Fallout 5, which will be Bethesda. We're not ruling out that an Obsidian Fallout won't happen in the future. But this Fallout 5 is Bethesda. They've already confirmed it. It's in development. They're working on it right now alongside Test 5 or Test 6. Gosh, we're scrambling numbers here. So Fallout 5 has a lot of things it can do right. A lot of different locations it can do. It's not going to be more like 1 and 2 in New Vegas. Bethesda just doesn't learn. They've been streamlining their games game after game. I don't like that they've been streamlining it, but it seems to sell well. It seems to get mixed reviews on occasion, like Starfield did, but I have a feeling it's because Starfield just didn't, I'm going to be real, it just didn't innovate enough from Outer Worlds, and No Man's Sky didn't separate itself enough, and it had Bethesda bugs, so it was trying to be something new, and it didn't have like the ongoing hardcore support like Elder Scrolls and Fallout does, and it just didn't separate itself enough. So that's the problem that came with. Fallout 5 is going to sell like crazy though. It's because it's Fallout. And the Fallout TV show helped boost it into popularity again. I don't think it's going to be like 76, and I think 76 was a weird experiment for them. It failed. It was bad, but I will give them this. They didn't give up on 76. They're still working on it now, which is crazy. Which I got to go back and play it. I hear that, like, I'll be honest, there's only so much you could do with the framework of Fallout 76. It was so fucking bad. And I played it in 2021, a few years after it came out, when they made like the NPCs and shit, and I felt like it had characters, but it suffered with the same wide as the ocean, deep as a puddle. It just wasn't very deep, and I didn't feel like the characters mattered. Like, I was like, okay, like this is my Fallout 76 experience for anyone wondering. I played it for like 50 or 60 hours when it first came out, and then I was like, man, I'm disappointed. I was a defender, and then I was like, you know what, I have no friends to play this with, so I got bored. And then I came back in 2021. And my experience went like this. So I went back to the Wayward, or the beginning of the game, as a level 30 character, so all the enemies were stupid easy. I walked into a bar, and I was role-playing as a drunk alcoholic. Ironically enough, we're gambling now. My New Vegas talk show, which is crazy. And I went into the bar as an alcoholic. I was like trying to roleplay, because in Fallout 1 and 2, they're infamous for letting you be whatever type of character you can. Like, this, it's not just good and evil. There's good, there's evil, there's rowdy, there's, unhinged. There's a whole there's a whole spectrum of different characters you can play, whereas Bethesda makes it more black and white. It's more like you're good or you're evil, whereas in Fallout 1 and 2, there's a lot of moral gray. There's a lot of, well, there's good, there's evil, there's this, there's more witty, there's like more bombastic, there's a little bit more unhinged, there's like a dark savior, and there's also like a anti-hero, right? Like there's a whole spectrum. And I was coming off with that impression, which I shouldn't have done for Fallout 76. I walk into the bar, I talk to the lady, and she's like, do this fetch quest for me. And as a character, I'm like, fuck no, bitch. I don't want to do that fucking fetch quest. And there was no way to tell her no. And I was like, what? Why can't I tell her no? And so I got pissed with her because I was like, I don't like you. I don't like who the fuck you are. You want me to do a fetch quest? Fuck you, right? So I pull out my gun and I shoot her in the face. And the bullet goes through her. And she has no collision. And the moment I realized that I couldn't be a drunk alcoholic shooting people in a bar, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. You had one chance to redeem yourself, Bethesda, and turn this into a role-playing game, and you didn't. You turned it into a fucking World of Warcraft clone. So I was like, nah, I'm done with this. This isn't Fallout. And I quit, and I never looked back at 76, but we'll probably play it at some point. Anyway, I'm not gonna expect a deep story with Fallout 5. I'm expecting a Fallout-themed Fallout 4. Shocker. They're probably gonna take some elements from the TV show. I hope that they innovate and they make it more cool. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Anyway, let's compare this to what a Fallout New Vegas 2 would look like, right? The reason why people love New Vegas so much is because New Vegas was so good on the writing. And it was so good on the world building. Whereas Fallout 4, here's a great example I saw. When you go into, you know what's so crazy? I forget the name of it. One of the major cities, or even Diamond City, right? You find trash like on the ground, and there's rubble on the ground like from the Great War. It's like Fallout themed, but the developers never thought about this. Yo, people fucking live here. Like, the Great War was 200 years ago. Like, we are just as separate in the Fallout 4. We are just as separated from the Great War as we, right now, us, you and me, are separated from fucking Napoleon. I'm going to run that by you again. In Fallout 4, they are just as separated from the Great War as we are from fucking Napoleon. Napoleon, you know the guy that like took over France right after the American Revolution and the French Revolution? You know that thing that happened like 200 years ago? That's the level of separation, and there's still trash and rubble on the ground. Like, people don't grab a fucking broom. And that's the problem that I think Bethesda has, is that it's so Fallout themed and nuclear themed that they forget that people fucking live in this world. And the bombs aren't what Fallout's about. It's not about the nuclear devastation. It's the aftermath of that. And that's why it's called Fallout. That's literally how it got its name. And ironically, in Fallout 1 and 2, you know what's so crazy? Vault Boy originally was supposed to mock a lot of like Americanisms, like Rosie the Riveter, like Uncle Sam. It was supposed to mock them about like modern capitalism. And ironically, it has turned into their franchise cash money mascot for Bethesda, which is the exact thing that it was making fun of. How ironic is that? Vault Boy right now is the exact thing that it was making fun of. American capitalism, which is crazy. And when you get into Fallout 2, if you've ever played the originals, Fallout 2 is a lot more cleaned up than Fallout 1 is. Because it's 80 years have passed. Like, the developers understand that, like, in Fallout 1, I think the year is, if I'm correct, 2166 or 2180. I think it's like 2180 something, right? I haven't played Fallout in a hot minute. It's like the 2180s. And in Fallout 2, I think it's the 2240s. So it's like an 80-year, or like 2160s to 22. It's an 80-year gap, right? And they understand that there's a lot of development that happens. So there's a lot, like this Vault City in Fallout 2. What in the goddamn? I'm going back and forth between this footage. It's crazy. And Benny's looking wild. Vault City is a really clean, it's like the Institute in Fallout 4, which Institute was a great idea. They should have expanded more on it. So you have Vault City, which is really clean. You have a lot of areas which have become modern settlements. They feel lived in. And New Vegas feels the same way. Like, New Vegas is untouched from the bombs because they wanted to show the fallout, the repercussions of American capitalism crashing in on itself. And that's something that I think Bethesda misses the mark on. And I have no doubt that it's going to be different in Fallout 5. That's just how Bethesda has made their games. From 376, from 4, they just aren't. They like to build like a Fallout theme. Like, oh, look at this, the bombs dropped and it's got Nuka-Cola. You like Nuka-Cola. In Fallout 2, they don't even use fucking bottle caps. Like, they use money. I mean, there are bottle caps in Fallout 2. Don't get me wrong. At least if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played this game. Sorry if I'm like not consistent on it. But they start. I do remember this from Fallout 2. They start using actual money, and the reason why is because that's how society develops. We go from barter and trade, like we have in the fucking Ooga Booga days, to having money, because that's what civilization does as time passes. And you'd think when they have all the remnants of everything from before the Great War, they would have like kind of a template, a blueprint, which in Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas, they follow. They build off each other. Each game like leans on each other. It's not just like these stupid references like you have with Liberty Prime, where it's like, you remember Dr. Lee, right? She's now in the Institute. You remember Liberty Prime, right? Look, he comes back with the Brotherhood of Steel. Like, fucking what? Like I get it. It makes sense, but they're more like references. Whereas in Fallout 1, like, this one character that you meet ends up becoming a political powerhouse and takes over the entire wasteland, Tandy, right? That you meet this dude that runs a village, and his daughter gets kidnapped by a bunch of raiders. That lady, 80 years later, is in Fallout 2, and she's a fucking political powerhouse of the Mojave Wasteland, because it develops, and that small town turns into a giant bustling city. Because it makes sense. That's how it was. Anyway, I'm ranting right now. I'm sorry. I'm still excited. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people, I dog on Bethesda because Obsidian and Black Isle and the Interplay made better games than Bethesda did, in my opinion. Just because the goal of Fallout was to show the fallout of American capitalism getting destroyed, not the fallout of bombs falling, which I think is commonly misinterpreted. It's a retrofuturism. That's the whole point of the game. With that said, I still like 3 and 4. Don't come at me. I know I just dissed your favorite game. I know. I like them. They're fun. They were my introduction to the series. They're a fun time. It's a fun looter shooter. There's engaging story there on your first playthrough. I'll say New Vegas is so good, and Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas are so good because a lot of the fun comes from your subsequent playthroughs, not your first playthrough. Whereas 3 and 4 just like have a 200-hour playthrough and then you're done. Whereas New Vegas, you'll have 10 playthroughs and they're all different, and it's really fun. So I'm still hyped for Fallout 5. I think it's gonna be fun, but I gotta have different expectations coming into it than something like New Vegas. There's going to be a lot of cool things that come into Fallout 5. On one hand, they're going to improve the shooting aspect. The shooting and the gameplay and the gunplay, it's going to feel better. It's going to feel more modern. They're going to improve the graphics. It's going to look more like Starfield, which some reason still looks like Mass Effect, even though it came out in 2023. But we don't talk about that, right? It's going to have a new area. It's going to be focused on the area that it's in. Now, let me gush for a second because, okay, I love Fallout, right? I want it to be in New York. I grew up in New York. Well, I grew up on Long Island, not New York City. And I think New York City would be such a fun location. Like, New York City would get bombed to smithereens first, but I'd be interested to see, like, what a New York-themed Fallout would be. I'd be so interested. I'm sorry. Who the fuck asked for Boston, Massachusetts? I get it. They had the whole institute. It was referenced in Fallout 3, the Commonwealth. It was but who the fuck asked for Boston, Massachusetts? If you live in Boston, you know what? I was going to say no hate to you, but I'm a New Yorker. So fuck you and your fucking Celtics. Sorry, I had to throw that one out there. You're fine. If you live in Boston, I don't care. I'm a West Coaster now. I moved to the West I disassociate. But oh god, sorry. I just looked back at my screen and I just got jumped by a bunch of fucking Germans. So I have an insta-kill headshot mod on here. By the way, this footage that you're watching is modded to all hell. The headshot mod is interesting, but it also makes the game harder because I die in one hit. Anyway, a New York Fallout would be really cool. I would also like to see a Fallout in the Southeast, like Florida. That would be really, really cool. I think they hinted something like Maine or something. I don't remember. I don't know. I would like to see something different because they've kind of like... Bethesda has teased this one region for a long time where they've gone with, you have the Washington, D.C., and that plays into the Commonwealth, and they tie into each other, which is cool. It makes sense, right? 76 was kind of a detachment from that, but 76 was also fucking 76. It was an MMO. It wasn't a fucking role-playing game. Don't try to tell me it was a role-playing game. It had role-playing systems, but the people that you met within those systems, shallow as fuck. Don't even get me started. It never got good. But again, I haven't played Fallout 76 since 2021, so it might be a lot better now. I'm not gonna throw it under the bus for that. I want to see them do something different. I want to see them detach it from 3 and 4, and I want it to feel like its own new thing. I like that's what New Vegas did. It was its own new unique thing. Granted, it still referenced Fallout 1 and 2, and granted, the NCR makes its comeback, and it makes its comeback big and strong. You can play New Vegas without ever having played Fallout 1 and 2, and you can follow perfectly what's going on. There are references, there are sprinkles, and I think that they have a big thing going on in the Southwest for New Vegas and 1 and 2, right? But it's so detached and separated from Fallout 3 and 4 and the Bethesda Fallout. Like, there's the Obsidian Fallout and Black Isle Fallout, and then you have the Bethesda one. Like give us something different. I want a little bit of a shake-up. Either give us New York and wrap up the trilogy, or, I swear to God, if you give us Jersey, I'm going to be pissed. As a New Yorker, I don't like Jersey. And my best friend went to college in Jersey, and I made fun of him every step of the way, because New Jersey is the armpit of America. Come at me. If you're a New Jerseyan, is that what the fuck you call them? New Jerseyan? Don't even. You're a knockoff New Yorker accent. Don't even. Anyway, I'd like to see something in the South. I mean, West Virginia was pretty cool that they did that in 76, but like, I don't know. I think the South would be cool, but they're gonna do the East Coast. I think, like, here's what I really want. Bethesda, do your Fallouts. Like, they're fun. 3 and 4 are fun. They make me mad in some aspects, which I have a whole different video coming out on that, on like why I think 1 and 2 are better than 3 and 4, because in my opinion they just are. But at the same time, there's a lot of good things in Fallout 3 and 4. A lot of good things that Bethesda introduced. And I think, yeah, there's just a lot to build off on there. I just want them to do something different. I don't want it to feel like I'm playing Fallout 4, but in 2025. Or, God, is it going to be 2030 when this shit comes out? So Test 6 is going to come out probably 2027, if I had to take my guess. Or 2028, because Bethesda loves to delay. Yeah, it's going to be like 2033 by the time we get Fallout 5. This is so many years down the freaking line. That's crazy. Nuts. Bonkers. Mind exploded. I think they can do a lot of cool things. What I really want to see them do, and Bethesda, because Todd stepped on an interview and he said that they're probably going to do everything in-house from now, which I'm glad Microsoft bought them, because Microsoft can make it happen. Because Todd is out of his fucking mind if he... Like, why? Why? Todd, you have the OG makers of Fallout in the same fucking umbrella as you with Microsoft. Why? Just let them do a spin-off game. Let them do their Southwest shit. Let them do Salt Lake City. They're not going to do Salt Lake City, because in New Vegas they were like, we blew up Salt Lake City. But let them do Salt Lake City. New Orleans would be cool. Sorry, I just ear raped the mic. New Orleans would be cool. New Orleans is so rich in culture. It's already basically Fallout in real life. It's true. It's they never really recovered from Katrina. But it's already basically like New Orleans. It's so filled with culture. It's so cool. It's the American Southeast, so you can do your fucking South euphemism. It's right next to Texas, so you can throw your fucking Texas shit on there. Do New Orleans. Actually, I take everything I said back about New York. Do New Orleans. That would be cool as fuck. I take that back. Do New York. Do New York. Do Long Island, so I can visit my house and be like, oh, look at that. It's Rebel. Anyway, Do what you want, Bethesda. I don't really care. Just don't bring us back to fucking Washington, D.C. or, God forbid, the fucking Boston, Massachusetts area. Who the fuck wanted Boston? I'm sorry. I'm just talking about locations now. Wild shit. But yeah, what they gotta do, they gotta hand it back to Obsidian at least. Obsidian, although I will say this, and only because I've played and I've looked at a lot of their recent games, Obsidian is not the same company it was when it made New Vegas. They're different now. Their games are different now. They're really strong in the role-playing aspect. Don't get me wrong. Like, really cool. Like, I played Outer Worlds. I didn't play it for very long, but I played it. Outer Worlds, by the way, I'm about to get into a massive save load spamming thing over here, so it's going to be the same footage for like 5 minutes anyway. Outer Worlds, I think, it had a lot of cool things in it. But I'm going to be real, I'm not hyped for Outer Worlds 2. And the fact that, okay, like, I didn't mean to bleed these two topics together, but the fact that Outer Worlds 2 is the first $80 Xbox game makes me so not excited for it. So not excited. Just because Outer Worlds had so much potential, but it was blocked by this one thing. In my opinion, it was just boring. I got so bored of Outer Worlds. Like, it had so many great dialogue systems, so many great ways you can play the game. Like, you had some good characters in it. But, man, was it just not interesting. I think I got like 5 or 6 hours in, and I was like, dude, I can't play. This is so boring. So, I think if they take, like, what Bethesda has done, I still think that they can still, like, in their current state, they can make a better game than Bethesda can make on this. Just simply because, especially if they can have, like, somebody like Josh Sawyer running it again, because Josh Sawyer really has a good grip on Fallout and what players want and what really makes Fallout tick. Dude, I think they could go crazy with it. They could expand on the Caesar's Legion shit. They could go up to the non-existent Salt Lake City, because again, it's about the fallout of it. It could be like a big pit of irradiation, but there's still gonna be people there. Like, that's how it goes. Rex has died. I keep loading this save because Rex keeps dying. So, I think Fallout 5 has a lot of potential, though. It could be really good. It could be really fun. I'm optimistic about it, but I know it's also going to be a Bethesda Fallout. And Bethesda is a janky company. Which, by the way, they have no reason to be. Why? They are worth so much goddamn money. Why are they as janky as they are? Why do their games always, like, unplayable with bugs when they first come out? Crazy. I recently finally watched reviews of Starfield. By the way, I will gloat this till the end of time. When I made a critical video on Starfield when it first got announced, and people were like, you don't know what you're talking about. Bethesda always makes great games. And I'm like, I'm telling you, they've been stripping out RPG elements ever since Oblivion. They took out the they took out the class system. They took out the skill system that made Fallout go. They took out the cool condition system until it fit their stupid loot box thing in Fallout 76. Seriously? It's crazy. And they managed to ruin it somehow. I don't know how, but they did. I thought condition was cool, but they just wanted to use it so you could buy fucking repair kicks. It's whatever. Yeah, they like have a lot of good things going for them, but at the same time, they're jank, right? So I'm going to enjoy Fallout 5 when it comes out. I know I'm going to enjoy making fun of it. I'm hoping that they can make it like in a new style of the engine, or just like, dude, just ditch the creation engine. Come on, dude. Like, the creation engine is fucking 20 years old. It's an old car that's running together with duct tape. And like, I've heard people say, like, you know, there are plenty of game studios that use old engines. You don't have to dog on Bethesda for using an old engine. And that's very fair. Very fair. At the same time, not every game studio is releasing games that are fucking broken when they come out every time. Like, dude, Bethesda games are so riddled with bugs every single time they come out. And it's like, dude, just ask. You work for Microsoft. Just ask for some help. Make a new engine that runs smoother and that has less bugs. Because every time a Bethesda release comes out, there's at least like 2 or 3 game-breaking bugs every single time. And then there's thousands of other ones. So, like, just make a new engine. That's all I'm saying. But I hope they make a good framework that can be worked on, and I hope that they hand off the reins to Obsidian. I would really love to see what Obsidian can do with another Fallout opportunity, especially in like 2020s, because again, Fallout New Vegas is 15 years old, which also feels crazy to say. Like, since the studio has changed over time, it would be a different experience than anything we've ever seen, and it wouldn't cost Bethesda anything because it would have the Fallout name slapped on it, and they make money. It's a cash cow. Since it's a cash cow, Bethesda, don't release a game every fucking 15 years. Like, why? Why would you do this? Just outsource other studios. Anyway, Fallout 5, I think, is going to be fun. It's going to have a lot of different things. It's going to have a lot more gunplay focus, I think. It's going to have some improved exploration, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to fall victim to the Bethesda trap, and it's going to have pretty cool open worlds. Like, again, a lot of these games have cool open worlds, but not anything too deep. Again, even in 76, some of the holotapes that you have are cool, and some of the stories that they tell are pretty good stories, right? They're good stories, but for some reason, they just feel like they don't understand what Fallout is. That's just how I feel about it. Like, it's so much focused on the bombs and the heartbreak of the bombs and the fact that there were so many people that died and there were some fucked up experiments and Vault-Tec was a fucked up company. It's so focused on that it misses a lot of what makes Fallout great. And I think that's what people do with the Rubble and the Ashes. Whereas like Fallout 4 felt like people were just like playing Civilization. Like, that's what a lot of settlements felt like. We're gonna be the mayor here, and now Preston Garvey, we're gonna be the new Minutemen. Like, the Minutemen don't feel real. Like, they're just a bunch of fucking dudes that decided to dress up in fucking 1700s outfits for no fucking reason just because they live in a commonwealth. I'll tell you this from real life experience, and my video is about to end. I got about 40 seconds to this. I grew up in a part of the country that the towns I grew up in were built in the 1600s. Nobody dresses up in 1600 shit being like, it's olden days. It's just not, like, people don't do that. It just doesn't make sense. And at tracks in Fallout 1 and 2. Tracks in New Vegas. And for some reason, people are just like, well, let's make it like any Minutemen themed. Anyway, I could go on about this for a while, but my footage is coming to an end. I do have to end this. Let me know what you think. I'm not throwing shade at all. I'm throwing a little bit of shade, but not a lot of shade. I'm excited for it. Let me know what you think about Fallout 5. Let me know what's hitting your brain hole as these come out. Thank you for watching the New Vegas Talk Show. Click on one of these videos, and I will see you in the next video.